and it was meant to be, I guess.
I saw in an interview recently that there was a time period that you were homeless. What made you make the jump from having a career, having that stable lifestyle, to deciding to risk it all, lose a place to stay in order to pay for fuel to get to different training sessions?
So like everyone that knows me knows that my personality is so weird. So like I come across so confident, so like outgoing, like probably a rule breaker, a risk taker, and I am literally, I sound like I'm going into like an Eminem rap there. But no, like I'm the opposite. Like once I got to a certain age, like when I'd gone to my second school, I just like fell in line. I don't take risks, I don't gamble, I don't make real bets real often. I rarely ever bet on the boxing with money. I am just not a risk taker. Like I wouldn't even steal a 5p bag from the store when you have to scan the bag and like put your shopping in it. And like that's it. That's, like I'm just like, yeah, I'm a bit of a wimp. Like my dad always says I'm really windy. Like I wouldn't break the law. Or like me and George went for a night away. He was messing about with a fire alarm, set it off, rang the hotel room and was like, what's going on? Like the hotel alarm set off. And I was like, oh, sorry, like George was messing about me and it set off. And George was like, you don't do that. You just say it went off. Like, so yeah, going from like having security and stability, which is the only thing that's ever like kept me sort of focused in life, you know, having a routine and structure, it was hard. So like it was a big risk to take in itself. I'd been with an employer, painting and decorating, and you know, done a bit of my own business as well for like the last near enough 10 years in a really well paid job. And he said to me, you know, don't do the boxing and I'll make you high up in this company. I'd already like sort of ran it once before I went to Australia. Then when I came back, he wanted me to sort of take the reins again, like have that responsibility. He was going to pay me a lot of money. He'd give me a van. He'd like gone above and beyond for me. And I just said to him like, no, like I love my job, but like my heart is with boxing. So I gave up my job, which I was earning a lot of money a week. And I'd gone from like earning a lot of money to like earning nothing and spending loads and paying for accommodation. And slowly any money that I had saved had just gone down and down and down until the point that my boyfriend paid for the last month of my rent on my tenancy for me. My dad was trying to give me money, like helping me out. My meal prep sponsors had obviously like sort of got me by with food. No one realised like how bad it was apart from my boyfriend, and I would spend like nights like crying myself to sleep, worrying like where I'm going to get the next set of money from, because I was just trying to put everything into my boxing. And because I'd had 3 fights fall through in a row, that was 3 lots of wages. Also my sponsors, like loss of ticket sales as the time goes on, it just completely like went from here to here in a matter of like 4 months. And I just said to George, like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And he was like, you can, like, we'll work something out, don't worry. And yeah, so I ended up giving my tenancy up after the 6 months because I knew I couldn't afford it, and it was putting me like in an early grave, the stress of it. So I was meant to be going back to my dad. So we ripped all the room out, and then there was problems with the building work. So it meant I couldn't stay there. So I was having to stay on like my friends' couches, my dad's couch sometimes. And then it was just like, I was like literally bouncing from pillar to post, and like I was basically just taking a rucksack with me, and it was horrible. Like I'm getting bloody stressed thinking about it was literally the worst. And then my boyfriend's mum was like, you can just come and stay here, like you don't. But I was just so worried about feeling like a burden on people that I just like let it all consume me, and like didn't come to anyone else with my problem, so it made it worse. And then yeah, because he goes in the Marines on Monday, so I was worried that like if I go to his mum's and then I've got to like pack all my stuff, take it to his mum's, and then a couple of weeks later try and get out before he's gone, because obviously she's got her own life, she's got a house full of her own children and her own mum there. So it's like the last thing she needs is bloody me and my life problems, like, but she was really good about it. And I'm just really thankful that I had her there for that support, because my mum's poorly and she could never have took me in. and my dad didn't have the room for me at the time. Thankfully, we got everything sorted, and I've managed to now get myself back in, but that was literally only like 2 days ago. It's been stressful, really stressful. The day of my fight is the day that I'd become homeless. So coming back from London to know where to live was pretty hard. I couldn't even celebrate the win. I took a couple of days like fully off social media. I didn't really post about my fight. I was just so stressed. It really was from like an ultimate high of getting my license to like the rock bottom, and so much had happened in between that with my mum being poorly and stuff, that it just like my life was just like mental.
Wow. And it's crazy just from looking at you and how well spoken you are and how well kept you are, you would never know what someone's going through, especially having such a phenomenal win.
I know. I'm like that though. When I'm focused, because I love boxing so much, like nothing would get in the way, like nothing. Like if anything, if the worst thing in the world happened to me, if I had a fight coming up, no matter how much was going on before I enter that gym, when I enter that gym, it's business. And then come fight night, if anything, I just use it as more drive.
I was gonna say, do you think that the situation you were in, do you feel like it kind of made you hungrier to get that win for the first time?
1,000,000%. Because I'd had so many letdowns with the fights before it, I thought, like, no disrespect to Borislava, because she is ace and I love her to bits. Like, you know, after we spoke and she was fabulous, but at the time I was just like, God help my opponent, because when I get in there I have got all this pent up rage that is coming out on them.